Greetings, greetings, greetings. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know, I know, I know. I know you missed me. Ta-da! Ta-da! I moved, yes, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I moved to my new house. Guys, come closer, come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Cranberry with a Coke. Love. So, anyways, in today's episode, remember we're in episode 35. In episode 35, season 1, we're talking about moving into your dream home. It can be a small apartment, it can be a house, but remember there's bills, there's water, electricity, there is phone, there is internet, there is, the necessities that we need to make, the lights go on at night. So we're not cold with, because it's cold in January and February, and the heater has to be on, and that's like, electricity. So we'll be working, we'll be doing a lot of researching. We will be reading the Quran during Ramadan, guys. Don't forget, guys, if you have wudu, please touch the Quran and then, start reading because it's going to be Ramadan season. Correct. We have the Holy Quran by Abdullah Yusuf Ali, my favorite, and I read and I take notes and I contemplate, And we have Don't Be Sad by Dr. Aid Al-Qarni, and he is International Islamic Publishing House. It's a very good book at a time in which the Muslims are beset with trials. From every periphery and within comes this heartening book, rooted in the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Sunnah, and the excellent guidance and examples of the Muslims that have come before us. Don't Be Sad is an absolute must read for all people. It is full of practice advice on how to replace it with a pragmatic and ultimately satisfying Islamic outlook on life. It exposes to the modern reader how Islam teaches us to deal with tests and tribulations of this world. So take heart and hold firmly onto the rope of Allah. Don't be sad. Remember that you believe in Allah. Nay, but Allah has conferred a favor upon you, that He has guided you to faith. That's Quran 49:17. End of quote. One particular blessing overlooked by most people is the vantage point afforded to the believer when he is observing the disbeliever. The believer remembers Allah's favor of guiding him to Islam. He is thankful that Allah has not decreed for him to be like the disbeliever who rebels, denies His signs, disbelieves in His perfect attributes and His messengers and the hereafter. Full stop. Furthermore, the believer performs all obligatory acts of worship. Perhaps his execution of those acts is not perfect, yet simply performing them is in itself a great blessing. It is a blessing for which few are grateful. And he quotes the Quran, is then he who is a believer like him who is fasiq, disbeliever and disobedient to Allah, Not equal, are they? 32:18 Quran. Some commentators of the Quran have said that among the pleasures of paradise for the believers is to be able to look upon the people of the fire and then thank their Lord for what He has given them. If you remember Islam, there is no reason. If you remember Islam, there is no reason for you to be sad. So don't be sad. So yeah, those are the books that we're reading during Ramadan. I want to contemplate, I want to read. The more I read, the more I understand, the more my life makes sense. 10 years ago versus now versus 20 years from now. It will make sense, hopefully. And we will be reading a lot of health, self-help, entrepreneurial books too. This is Richard Branson, The Sunday Times, How to Have Fun, Do Good, and Make Money. I love such books. Voila. That's my bookmark. My brother. When he was a young baby. I keep it as a bookmark. Ta-ta-ta-ta. The global village and its time have finally come with all the wonderful opportunities and challenges it brings with it. It is now a lot more difficult for any individual, government, or organization to build its power and wealth off the back of people. No matter where they are in the world, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 was probably one of the first manifestations of technology, quite literally tearing down barriers between peoples and regimes. While the wall had stopped the passage of people for over 40 years, it met its match when faced with satellite broadcasting. Suddenly, everyone on the eastern side had access to an uncensored view of everything that was happening on the western side. Eric Schmidt and Jerry Cohen of Google also had the foresight to forecast some of the implications of our newly wide world. They call this level of connectivity and the universal diffusion of power the digital disruption. They distilled their ideas in an article published in Foreign Affairs and highly influential journal of the U.S. Council on Foreign Relations. The advent and power of connection technologies, tools that connect people to vast amounts of information and to one another, will make the 21st century all about surprises. Government will be caught off guard when large numbers of their citizens, armed with virtually nothing but cell phones, take part in many rebellions that challenge their authority. For the media, reporting will increasingly become a collaborative enterprise between traditional news organizations, the quickly growing number of citizen journalists, and technology companies will find themselves outsmarted by their competition and surprised by consumers who have little loyalty and no patience. Today, more than 50% of the world's population has access to some combination of cell phones, 5 billion users, and the internet, 2 billion. The people communicate within across borders, forming virtual communities that empower citizens at the expense of governments. Faced with these opportunities, democratic governments have an obligation to join together, but also respecting the power of the private and non-profit sectors. You see, things like these then make you smarter. So until we meet again, guys, I will be not doing any more videos until end of Ramadan or probably Eid. I'll be contemplating a lot during my time here on earth. And hopefully if I'm alive, inshallah, we will see you on season 2. And that completes season 1 of Live. Let's repeat that again. Live, love, laughter. Mwah.